Are your emotional tears impacting your lash retention? Yeah, they are. In this video, I'm going to share with you a little piece of Lash Intensive. This is Lash Intensive right here. This whole thing, including the videos for Lash Intensive, took me 5.5 years to complete. I'm going to play for you just a little piece of Lash Intensive. In addition to sharing about tear types, I also explain how I came to this conclusion. There is a link between emotional tears and lash retention. 2 clients back in 2014 were going through emotional situations and the impact that it was having on their lashes. And this is just something that I've been sharing with my clients ever since. At the end of the video, I'm going to come back online and share with you how to troubleshoot this issue easily at home.
Like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell.
Tear types. You're going to ask, why do I need to learn about tears? Tears contribute to retention issues, and there are many types of tears. Tear film layers. You have your mucus, which is the inner layer. It keeps the whole tear fastened to the eye, contains myopolysaccharides, sialic acid, and glycoprotein, and is produced by the conjunctival goblet cells. Aqueous layer, which is the middle, and it's the thickest layer, and it hydrates, repels bacteria, protects the cornea, washing away debris. It contains proteins, electrolytes, and water, and it is produced by the lacrimal glands, which produce the watery layer. Lipid oily, which is the outside layer, stabilizes tear film, preventing the evaporation of tear film. Contains triglycerides, fatty acids, and cholesterol esters, produced mainly by the meibomian gland, also the gland of Zeiss and gland of Moll. Tear types. Basal tears. Lubricates the eyes and helps keep them clear of dust. Note, production of basal tears slow with age. Reflex tears. It's an attempt to wash out irritants that may come into contact with the eye, such as foreign particles and substances such as onion vapors and perfumes, triggering TRP channels in the ophthalmic nerve. Also linked to vomiting, coughing, and yawning. Emotional tears. The limbic system is involved in the production of the basic emotional drives, such as anger, fear, and intense laughter. The limbic system, to be specific, the hypothalamus, also has a degree of control over the automatic system. Tear composition. Basal and reflex tears. They're composed of water, salts, antibodies, and lysosomes, which are antibacterial enzymes. Emotional tears are composed of protein-based hormones containing a natural painkiller called lecithin and enkephalin, a natural painkiller that makes a person feel better after crying. Emotional tears. They can have an effect on the retention of your client's lashes. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. First example was in 2014, probably about February of 2014. She was a new person. I'd never seen her before. I just opened my business, so I had very little experience with troubleshooting. This lady comes in, she's going through divorce, and she wanted a full set of lashes. Put lashes on her a couple weeks later. She returned. The adhesive is crunchy. It seems like it's kind of partway broken down and kind of fused together. I asked her if she had been crying, and I don't know why I asked her that. And she said, "Oh no, I haven't been crying." I'm thinking, there's no way if you're going through a divorce, you're not crying. About a month later, another gal, and this is at a place where I was working part-time as I was building up my business. So this was one of their clients. She comes in for a fill on a Friday. On a Monday, I come into the office and they say she needs another fill on her lashes. And I'm thinking, why does she need another fill? We just did a fill on her on Friday. Well, she walks in and I see the same breakdown of the adhesive similar to that other gal. And it's just about a month apart. This client, she tells me that she had a horrific situation over the weekend and it was a domestic violence and she cried and cried and cried. In that moment, I realized there is something different with emotional tears versus other tears, because emotional tears seem to have, like it says, it has some kind of an enzyme in there that is breaking down the adhesive. And instruct all of your clients, after they're done crying, just have them rinse their lashes with room temperature water, and that should remove the tears off of the lashes so that they don't break down the adhesive. Because the tears will dry out the adhesive, become brittle, or it kind of fuses together as the lashes are starting to dry. Perspiration and sweat. Sweat from the gland of Mull affects the eye margin where the tears are secreted. Perspiration is exceptionally high in salt. The high salt content in the eye's tear film will increase the rate of water evaporation into the atmosphere, further concentrating the salt. The resulting salt over concentration can irritate, sting, and burn. Perspiration contains salt because salt causes the water in the sweat to evaporate more rapidly on the surface of the skin, creating a cooling effect. The salt content will remain high until the body begins to run out of salt or electrolytes, and this may cause adhesive to dehydrate, resulting in premature lash loss, especially with your clients who exercise a lot. Something else that I learned, if they rinse their lashes after working out, this seems to minimalize it. As long as they get the salts off, there's no issue with the adhesive dehydrating. What did you think of that video? Pretty interesting, wasn't it? I have 2 tips to help you troubleshoot this. Tip number 1, when you finish crying, rinse your lashes with room temperature water. Don't use hot water. Don't use cold water. Just room temperature water is fine. The most important thing that you need to do is just get those tears off of your lashes, because you don't want those tears sitting on top of that adhesive, causing the adhesive to break down. Tip number 2, do not start brushing your lashes after you've rinsed them. No, don't brush. Bad. Push this brush back. Have nothing to do with your brush. Back away from the brush. Back away from the mirror. Lashes need to dry before you start brushing them. Why do you ask? Well, if you start brushing your lash extensions when they're wet, what's going to happen is your natural eyelashes are very soft. They are going to start separating from the adhesive. I know this because I've literally seen this happen. The next video, I'm going to share with you my secret for keeping my lash adhesive fresh longer. When I say fresh, it means the adhesive hasn't thickened up. There's nothing worse than spending $80 on a little tiny bottle of adhesive and your adhesive starts to thicken up after a couple of weeks of use. Follow me to the next video and I'm going to share with you my secret. Shh, don't tell anybody. This will be our secret. Lash Intensive is more than just a lash workshop. It's a foundation.